Welcome, friends, to Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter. We bring you the greatest female voices in the music industry, from the artists, songwriters, and producers, to managers and executives, and all the women who make the music industry what it is today. Thank you for joining us. Welcome, friends, to another crazy episode of our Mother's Day special. I'm Donna.
I'm Paula, and today we have Sarah J. Nelson and her mum, Mrs. Woods. How are you guys doing?
We're good. Great.
Wonderful.
So pleased to have you on the show.
We're so excited to be here. I love this show. You guys are so much fun. And I get my mom on here and tell her what a great mom she is. And I'm a little nervous about your rapid fire questions for Mother's Day, but I'm ready. Let's do this.
They're fine. They're fine.
They're good questions. There's nothing wrong with these questions. You know, like the first one we like to start with is, hypothetically, if I need to hide a body, do you know a good place?
Oh, well, Mom? Well, you don't have to answer that question.
Let me see.
She's messing with you. No, we don't.
You don't. No.
We don't.
People have. And some of them make me nervous, but it's all
We've
good.
had some great answers.
When people answer that question and they have like ideas to share.
Oh, yeah. We've had great ideas.
Everyone watches way too many crime shows. I figured this out. I think everyone has full-time subscriptions to the ID channel.
They do.
Oh my gosh. See, and they wonder, like, are criminals learning from these shows? Like, that can't be a good thing.
It can't be. It can't be.
I don't
And
know.
what makes you laugh?
Watch those shows. Like, once I had kids, I became so sensitive to like having bad dreams and stuff. Like when I was pregnant with my son, my second, I was watching Deadwood. Did you ever watch that show?
Mm-hmm.
And oh my gosh, it's so violent. And yeah, so I'm like a delicate little flower now. I'm like, I can't watch those crime shows. They make me too sad. But but I write songs that are very dark at times. So I guess that's where I go into the dark side, is in my songwriting sometimes.
Yeah. Well, what's really funny is when the daughters look at their mums as if to say, how did you answer that question so quickly? As if they had it all planned. Somebody answered like this, and it's like, wow. It's very funny.
So, one of our newer questions is, what's the best thing since sliced bread?
Definitely music.
Oh yeah. Good
Music
answer.
is my thing. Always has been. I was raised on country music. Yeah.
I would say, I think the best thing since sliced bread is I've got these new, if you're talking about food, can we talk about food?
We can talk about food.
Whatever you want to talk about.
You've got these little tiny cucumbers that they have at Costco now, and they're like this big. They're like pickle size, and you can just dip them right in the hummus. You don't have to slice the cucumbers anymore. So it's like the opposite of sliced bread. It's non-sliced cucumbers. You just eat and I'm really into it. Like, it's a big thing for me. Like, it's my thing. So it's the best thing since sliced bread.
I love that.
That's great. Oh, we can always talk food on here, and drinks.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Food and drink seems to be a good thing.
So what's one of your favorite musicians that you grew up listening to? It doesn't have to be country. It could be anyone. What's one of your favorite?
I have to say that.
Like, if you turned on some music to listen to, who would it be?
Other than your daughter.
I have several. I loved Patsy Cline. I loved Dolly Parton. Is probably my favorite entertainer ever. I mean, she's so real.
Mom used to be a tour guide at the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
she knows a lot about the history of country music and just has like a genuine love for it. And so I don't think it's an accident that I do what I do, because I was raised with just this family that loved bluegrass and country and, a lot of the traditional stuff. So, I mean, I like the newer artists as well, but I'm just a sucker for Kitty Wells. Kitty Wells is one of my favorites.
Me too.
Yeah, we like the same stuff. We're easy.
Yeah, we're easy.
We're good on a road trip. It's just old country, women of country.
Okay,
That's
so
what
this
we like to do.
leads to one more thing. If you could talk to anyone, dead or alive, who would it be, and what would you want to talk about? Because it may not be music related.
I have to say, it would have to be my mama. She lived here in this house with us.
Yeah.
We had 4 generations in this house.
On the property. So
Right
mom
here.
lives here, I live here, and Mammy used to live with us before she passed
They call
away.
my parents Mammy and Pappy. And you know what's really strange is they were so in love for all the years they were married. Just Sarah Jane wrote a song for them called No Tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was the sweetest thing you've ever heard. And if you get a chance, go listen to it in video. It's awesome. No Tomorrow.
This is my press agent.
I know. But
But-
Pappy and Mammy met at the USO. He was in the
Yeah.
Navy.
And so what she's getting at is Mammy died on Pappy's birthday. And that was so sweet and such a beautiful thing. And we would love to see Mammy, talk to Mammy again.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna make me cry.
Sarah Jane was playing they were playing the guitar and singing to her at the hospice place, and she just smiled.
And she wasn't real coherent at that time, but she would just kind of pat, she was hearing the music.
She knew we were there.
And music is so powerful because, I've done a lot of music in nursing homes and different environments. And like when people have lost all ability to communicate, they respond to music. And it's so incredible how the brain processes music. And Mammy was no different. She just loved hearing I'll Fly Away and
May the Circle Be Unbroken.
May the Circle Be Unbroken. Yeah.
She loved
So that's what we would do. We would jam with Mammy again.
That sounds amazing. Okay. What sitcom family would you be a member of?
Sitcom Family. What about you?
I don't know. Oh gosh, I have so many favorite sitcoms, but they're all really dysfunctional families. That's why I like them. Modern Family. My son and I are obsessed with Modern Family right now, but I don't know if I need to be in that family. But what is our favorite sitcom family, Mom?
I don't know. I just know that The Office is one of my favorite shows ever.
I know. Does that count as a family?
It makes me laugh. They are
That's a family.
It's an office
I want to
family.
work there.
I know. I think it is hysterical.
Yeah. But I mean, it would be kind of cool to be in like Little House on the Prairie family. Like if you're talking about a family, like that would be kind of interesting. Like I don't think I'd want to live permanently in that time.
The Waltons.
Because I've got too much to say as a woman to live in those
Sarah Jane
times.
would get like,
I'd be
they would hang her.
They burn me at the stake. But it would be so interesting, to be in the Little House on the Prairie family.
But I have to say this one thing about Sarah Jane. She has 2 younger brothers and 2 older brothers, and all of them will say, I'm not scared of anything, except I don't mess with my sister. Do not mess with Sarah Jane.
Good for you.
That's her.
I love that.
A lot of boys around me. And that's why Mom and I are so close, I think, because, she is like my sister in so many ways. And I don't know if you guys want to hear a little interesting backstory tidbit.
Of course.
Absolutely.
So I went to New York City when I was 17 to be an actor. Like, I'm going to go be on Broadway. And I left little Louisiana town. And that year, my mom got divorced. And it was a surprise and shock to everyone that she became, divorced. And we were all shocked. And so I went home. After I'd gotten there, I got an agent. I was doing my thing, living in Midtown. I went home and I said, Mom, you're moving to New York City. And
I had never stayed in a motel by myself.
no,
I've been married 30 years.
she'd never
almost.
eaten in a restaurant by herself, ever. And so she put her stuff in a Ryder truck with the cat, Lily, winterized the pool, like closed the house down, and she drove from Monroe, Louisiana to New York City. I met her on a Sunday. I got us an apartment, 2-bedroom. And then I introduced her to my agent. And they loved her because she's so sweet and smart and funny. And they called me when we got home. They said, does your mom want to work here?
It's my first job.
And I said, yes, she does. And they were like, but I was like, Mom, you work at the Krasny office now. And so then she was an assistant, and she worked her way up and became fully franchised New York City agent, like 1501 Broadway, like on, like the
right in Times Square.
And she was my agent. And she actually, when I got my first Broadway show and my next one, like, and all the things I did, like, you could see Mom's handwriting on the breakdowns, like SJ, she was making sure I was getting auditions. And so I always joke and say, I didn't go to New York with any connections, but I imported my own connection. and she was amazing, so she went from just like this, like, housewife who wasn't sure of herself to being like a New York City theater
I never
agent.
had a checkbook or a charge card. I mean, I was one of those Southern women.
She was like, she didn't have any control.
I was so scared.
That's the short version of a very long story. But eventually she moved to Nashville, and I went out to LA to do more TV film. And then when I moved here to Nashville and became a single mom, it was just amazing to and we're back together again, and so.
Two single women.
Perfect. I love it. That's a great story. Supermom.
But she is single. Just putting it out there. I mean, if there's any guys watching, this woman is a gem.
I love it. Crazy Women Country dating.
Sarah Jane put me on a dating site for older people and wrote people saying it was me, and I'll hear everybody in the living room laughing.
We look at the pictures.
And they look at all the pictures, and then Jay, her brother, yells and he goes, Mom, do you like unibrows? And I'm like, okay, guys, that's it. I'm never having a date as long as I live. I want it stopped now.
No, she wants a date. Guys, SarahJaneNelson.com, contact me, and you will have to go through my screening first. But I'm open-minded, and she loves to travel. She loves walks on the beach and, all those things.
I do love
I love it.
it. It was pretty scary, actually.
Okay, let's move on from this one. What's your favorite drink?
Favorite drink? Water is what I drink. You guys know from my last interview, I don't have the most exotic drinks. Although I'm drinking LaCroix now when I'm feeling a little wild and crazy. I drink a LaCroix. Mom?
I drink half and half sweet tea.
Yeah.
That's what I drink.
Us.
And coffee. That's what I learned in New York City, to say coffee. I drink my coffee in the morning.
Okay. That's so cool. Okay. If you could add somebody to Mount Rushmore, who would it be and why?
Well, I really think Dolly Parton, I know we brought her up before, but I think she would be a really good addition because I feel like she's such a uniter, and we need that. I just love how she brings people together. Her fan base is so varied, from ages to political affiliations and
charities
and viewpoints. She's very charitable. And I just think she's the all-American girl.
Yeah.
And her big hair would be fabulous on Mount Rushmore.
Oh, it would be awesome. A big bouffant hairdo.
It would definitely glamorize it, wouldn't it?
Glamorize it. But Mount Rushmore is on sacred Indian ground, right? I mean, is that a thing? I think it's controversial. Let's just add her to her own mountain. Let's put her in the Great Smokies.
There you go.
Awesome.
We can call it Dolly Mountain. There you go.
Dolly Mountain. Probably already is one.
There probably, yeah, there probably is. Definitely.
So, who are some of the women that have inspired you growing up?
Wow.
Mom, you me go first?
You go first.
I would say that the women who have inspired me the most would be the women in my family, for sure. So I was raised with my great-grandmother, who was called Nanny, and she was amazing. And this would have been my mom's grandmother.
Yeah.
So we had Nanny,
She lived.
Mammy, Mom, and me. So I grew up with 4 generations. And the nanny died and I have my daughter. So I've had 4 generations in my life for most of my life. And I'm so lucky. I mean, I know not everybody has that. And so it's everything about who I am as a person today, I think, is the women in my family have this unbelievable work ethic, like unbelievable work ethic, and just a warmth. You know, like all the warmth and kindness that I have is 100% from mom, mammy, and nanny. So by far biggest influences. And you'd probably say the same.
I would say the same thing, except that a lot of the influence in my life was music, because my dad played guitar. I lived up in the hills of Arkansas, up in the Ozark Mountains, and that's where I was raised. And we went to bluegrass festivals.
So who was the influence?
My influences were the women who were on the Grand Ole Opry every Saturday night.
Yeah.
First, we could only
the Carters.
The Carter, Maybelle Carter. I mean, when it finally became televised, it was huge because we listened to it on the radio. My Granny Woods, who lived way up in the mountains, she had no electricity, and she would put the radio on her car battery. She had an old tractor, and she would put the battery, and then Saturday night we'd all sit outside and listen to the Grand Ole Opry.
I never heard that. Is there a song in there or what? Like,
absolutely.
You're powering the Grand Ole Opry from your tractor battery? Like, that is...
People did that a lot back then.
Okay, I'll write that song. Like,
Probably
probably...
dedication. It's definitely dedication. Okay. What's a favorite thing you do with your daughter?
What's our favorite thing?
I don't know. What is yours?
I love.
If you could have a day, what would you do?
I would go shop with you because I don't have. This is Sarah Jane's outfit. I don't own anything that I don't know about.
She
dressing.
came over and I was like, she had this like outfit on, and I was like, okay, let me redo this. And so I gave her a tank top, and I gave her this, and she went and changed the thing. And she's like, and so now she kind of looks. We look like the same. We have like this. She's wearing the Sarah Jane outfit. So
I know.
We have fun shopping. I like to kind of, update her a little bit.
But I have to tell you this too. When I moved here to Nashville, I thought, what am I, after I worked at the Opry for a few years, I thought, what do I want to do? And I opened the first charm school in Nashville. I teach etiquette to children. Wow. And oh my gosh, this is so not the same world we were raised in.
So this would be your favorite thing to do?
Yeah. I mean, not with you.
This was what you like to do with
that was shopping.
That was shopping.
It really teach me etiquette.
Good.
Trying to see where that was going.
Yeah. That's where it went from. It was you dressing her and teaching her that. So then, yeah.
I could probably use some etiquette here and there, although she's taught me pretty well. So my favorite thing to do, I really love to get my toes done. And that's something my mom and I, even since we lived in New York together, we would go get our toes done. So that's what I like to do.
Pedicure time.
I don't do it very often. I got like,
I have no
artist, guitar player, like busy lady nails, but my toes usually look pretty decent.
That's good.
Not mine.
Wonderful. So what's one of the craziest things your daughter has given you, or funniest, for Mother's Day?
Oh, wow.
You should tell the story about when Jay and Philip and I bought you that wreath.
Oh my gosh. When the kids were really little and I was married to Sarah Jane's dad, Sarah was probably 5 years old. So that made the boys, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. And Mother's Day came, and their dad, who never did anything, like shopping or any of that stuff, he took them to Walmart and let them go in and buy me a Mother's Day present without even looking at it. They bring the bag out. He gave them the money, and they brought the bag out. The next morning, they're going to have breakfast in bed for me. And the boys are behind Sarah Jane with a tray. Sarah Jane has a funeral wreath The kind they put on graves.
That says mother.
It says mother across it. And she comes walking in the bedroom, and I'm like,
it had like the kickstand to put it on the grave.
And that's what, and Philip said, Mom, you can put it on the dining room table. It has a stand on it. They had no clue. I said, those ladies at Walmart were probably going, oh, these poor little children.
Three unaccompanied small children buying a funeral wreath that says mother. I mean, is that a sad situation?
Yeah.
I can see there's someone crying after they, someone that after they left crying.
And my guess is that we were probably like, oh my gosh, it's perfect.
It's
like,
beautiful.
it's like,
It has flowers all on it. It had
gorgeous.
my name on it. Yeah.
That's the innocence of children, isn't it? They don't. It's the best. It's one of the best stories.
Decoration. You really should still have it. I'm upset that you don't.
I know, it's gone. We moved so many times. 22 times in 30 years.
It was lost by accident.
Hopefully somebody put it at the cemetery.
Just leave it on the steps and see what happens. Oh, okay. What is a favourite memory of your daughter?
I have to say, one of my absolute favorite memories of Sarah Jane is when she decided were you a junior or a senior in high school when you went to Minneapolis?
Oh, with the pageant?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I was a senior in high school. I decided to do a pageant.
The girl who was Miss Louisiana had to drop out. So they let somebody go at large. She didn't even tell me. She's applied for the whole thing. She had all this
like
community
America's
service.
Miss Teen.
It was like academics and all of that. And they let her do it. And I said, Sarah Jane, these girls, they buy $3,000 dresses. I mean, we can't do this. And she's like, Mom, we're going to Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm going to be Miss Louisiana. We're doing it. And do you know that we bought an $80 dress from Dillard's? And we went to Minneapolis, and Sarah Jane won the whole thing. She was
America's Miss Teen.
Yeah, 1994.
And that actually helped me launch into New York, and I used that to like get my agent and stuff. I that was like what I used to kind of leverage. Hey, I'm here. I just won America's Miss Teen, and it really helped. Yeah. But Mom and I had fun because we didn't take it super seriously, because it was like, hey, I'm here. And like
all these other girls were just
there, it's a big business, the pageant world. Yeah. And so I kind of felt like I was like in a Christopher Guest documentary, like just observing this whole world. But we had an absolute ball at the Mall of America. And then when I won, we were both so shocked. Like we were like,
what's funny is that one of the girls, as she came out of the dressing room on final night, said, Sarah Jane, you want some waterproof mascara? And she was like, no,
I didn't even wear waterproof. I had mascara running all down my face.
Walking across the stage with black.
I didn't think I was going to win. It was a good memory. Like that was so ridiculous.
I loved it.
And then I went home the next day with like this trophy the size of a refrigerator and like 3 dozen roses, and like it was nuts. But it helped me launch my career. I think, sometimes things like that, you meet interesting people, you travel a little, and it just broadens your mind to think like, oh, like maybe I can do like big things. Like maybe I have what it takes. And I credit that. It gave me self-confidence. So it was fun. Yeah. We had a good time.
I had a ball. You should see the video. It's hysterical.
So do you think your daughter has more of your good qualities or your exceptional qualities?
I think Sarah Jane and I are a lot alike. We have the same, we love the same things, the same things are important to us. The only difference is she is way more straight ahead, no looking back than I am. Confrontation is not my thing, but she beats it head on. Don't even go
not
there.
In a bad way. You're making me sound like I'm
going. You just keep going. Don't let nobody can tell you that you can't do something.
Well, since she's making me sound like I'm like this tough girl or something, I don't yell at anybody.
Never.
I'm very kind, and I got that from my mom, but I think that my dad, he's an entrepreneur, and he's an unbelievably intense and strong businessman. And so I feel really grateful that I got a lot of his like assertiveness, but all the kind, caring concern from my mom. And so like in business, it allows me to really walk that balance. And even in relationships, like even with like, obviously from my records, I've been through some hard times in relationship and stuff, but I've always tried to be positive and loving and forgiving my enemies, and really being that Carla.
Kill them with kindness.
Well, there's no killing anybody, but I try to be like mom, in that mom is always concerned about other people's feelings. She's just like, empathy is just who she is. Like, she's just a ball of empathy. But having the side from my dad, it allows me to be a little less emotional and like stay focused on business. Does that make sense? Like, I'm very grateful for both sides of my personality.
Yes.
So I get along well with people because mom gets along well with everybody.
One of my grandchildren said, "Nanny, do you just love everybody?"
She does. I do. She does.
That's good. That's a good thing to have. What's your most memorable family vacation?
Well, I would definitely say it was when I was in the first grade, and I remember this trip really, really well. We had a Good Times van, which was a custom, those custom vans that are real cushy inside.
Yes.
And we piled in, my two brothers, me, my great grandmother, and my mom, and we drove from Louisiana to Los Angeles. And my mom is so fun that she let us stop at every trading post and ball of twine and whatever else there was to see. It was like so much fun. My brothers were in a ninja phase, and they bought throwing stars at almost every truck stop and trading post. So we had like a whole arsenal of like ninja weapons.
Van, yeah.
And we went to Universal Studios and did all that stuff in LA. And what's crazy is you flash forward that trip, Universal Studios, because I was just this like, I talked like this when I was little, like I had a big Southern accent, like I was really country. And I went to Universal Studios and I was just like, oh my gosh, like it just blew my mind. And flash forward years later, I call mom and I'm like, you're not going to believe this, but I was at a TV job in LA. And it was on the Universal lot, but I didn't even think about it. And I get to the lot, and all of a sudden I'm driving to the location, to the trailer to get like hair and makeup. And I see that Jaws comes up, which I remember as a kid, there's like a part of the Universal Studios tour, Jaws comes up. Have either of you guys done that tour? Yep. Okay, so you know the Jaws. So all of a sudden I'm standing there and I'm like, whoa, like I am literally right where I was when I was in first grade, but I'm here working as an actor. Like, how nuts is that? Like, it was just blew me away. And so like, I think taking kids on those kinds of adventures and just expanding their horizons, and this was before the internet. So nowadays, I guess you could expand from your
It was also before
home.
seat belts.
Yeah.
Sarah Jane spent the whole trip on a cooler box between the two front seats.
I sat on a cooler. Thank God we didn't crash. But yeah, we had like sandwiches in the cooler that was lunch on the road. So it was amazing. That was the best trip.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
That was wonderful. I think we should all just go do one now.
I know. Now you're making me think I need to take my kids on something like that.
Oh, I would love
They're
it.
at the perfect age, but COVID has changed a lot.
Oh my
but
goodness.
I got to do it. Okay, now it's on my list. Now that we talked about that.
There you go.
So, in your opinion, what's one piece of advice that you want to give your daughter or have given your daughter that you would repeat over and over to her to just help her out in life and everything in general?
My piece of advice is that everyone in the world, I don't care if they're babies all the way to senior citizens, everybody just wants you to love them unconditionally, exactly the way they are. And that's the goal. I mean, so many kids, and I've realized this a lot lately, is so many kids just don't feel good enough. Girls that don't feel thin enough. Maybe their hair is not just perfect. And it makes me very sad that people can't be more loving and say, you're awesome. That's all they want to hear.
I'm lucky that I grew up with a mom with that kind of mentality. I mean, I'm very blessed. And, mom also, some advice she always gave me that I think is so good, and it's really translated into my life is, are you scared? It's that she'll say, when you think something nice, always say it out loud. And so like she'll walk down the street and she'll say to somebody, what a gorgeous red coat. You look beautiful in that. That color is you, random person that she doesn't know. And the beam that person has, and she's not just bullshitting, like she's saying something very genuine. Like that lady is like on, in that coat.
Yeah,
and but don't keep it inside. Like just share that love.
I love that.
And so she always does that. And with me and with my kids and with people that she knows, like just sharing love. It's not like new agey and woo woo to be loving and peaceful and all of that. It's really just like being a good human being, to not keep the positive things inside. Like, and there may be somebody watching, somebody that they need to tell, you're doing a really good job, or thanks for helping me with that. I couldn't have done it without you. Or, wow, you just look radiant in that, new haircut you got. But like never, why would you hold back if you could then just brighten someone's day? So that I never hold it back. And I think that makes me who I am, because I really want to affirm others, and in my music and in my art and in my life and in the work that I do songwriting with people who are, needing help and support. Like everything I do, I want to help others. That's what makes me happy. And that's where I get it. And in fairness, my dad is also very charitable and giving. So I was raised with that. And that is the best thing that I could have ever been raised with. I'm very lucky.
Perfect.
We're lucky.
Mommy.
Hang on a minute, where are we?
On.
What strange cravings did you have while you were pregnant?
Do you remember?
I know exactly what I had. Chili cheeseburgers.
With me?
With all of my kids. I wanted a chili cheeseburger. And Hardee's.
Where did you get it? Oh, Hardee's.
Hardee's had them when the first Hardee's was in Greenville, South Carolina. That's where my first one was born. And from then on, every place I lived, Minuteman, I love chili cheeseburgers.
Aw.
How about you?
For my kids, I would say the most memorable craving was I was really obsessed with banana bread during my pregnancy with Mateo. I still just love banana bread, but I was cooking a lot of loaves of banana bread. Like it was out of control.
Yeah, I have the recipe.
Couldn't. It's a good recipe. I've dialed it in. I got a good banana bread recipe.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay, so we know your daughter can sing, but the question I have is, can you sing or do you play an instrument?
When I was young, I used to play the guitar, but I haven't in many, many, many years. And I can sing, but I've never sang for anyone. Professionally, ever.
She's an amazing singer.
I have to tell you this, Sarah Jane and I recorded some music, and I had never put those headphones on, that they have in the recording studio. And we were in LA, and her oldest was just a baby. And we were going to send it to my mom and dad, a little record. And we were in the studio, and I had those headphones on, and Sarah Jane was trying to start a song, and a fly landed on the music, and I hit it.
And it made like a big
bam.
thump.
And the guy that recorded the whole thing, he put that off because she could not sing. She laughed.
We were laughing so much that we could not get through it. It was so funny. We just, yeah, she's actually a great singer. And I took her into the studio that time because I was like, I got to record you because you're a great singer. And we need to do it again.
I know. We should.
We really should because I love her voice.
But yeah, I killed a fly and it sounded like a bomb.
Yeah. She hit the mic.
Sarah Jane's like,
a mother-daughter duet.
What?
A mother-daughter duet.
Oh, that would be good.
Do it, Mom.
Scares me to death. No.
Wait, did I hear you're supposed to do something every day that scares you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I've been doing ever since I got divorced. I've been doing some pretty scary things because I had never done anything really except take care of kids and move.
Mom's on a new adventure at this point in her life. And I think it's a very exciting, wonderful adventure.
It's never too late for an adventure.
That's true.
Okay, what was your first concert?
Mom?
My first concert was, there were no concerts where I was raised, so it would have to be, I know what it was. It was Willie Nelson Willie Nelson came to Fayetteville, Arkansas.
Ooh.
And our last name was Nelson, and that was when my ex-husband was in college, and we went out to eat, and it was packed out. And the man said, well, I'm sorry, we have no place. And Phil pulled out his driver's license and said, look, I'm Willie Nelson's brother, and we got to get to the concert. And they, boom, put us in a seat, and I was just like, oh my God. Because his driver's license said Phil Nelson on it.
Phil Nelson, the lost brother of Willie.
So there you go.
I'm trying to think what my first concert was. I feel like it was Garth Brooks. He came to our little town in Louisiana, which was very gracious of him. It's not a huge town. We had a little civic center, and the tickets sold out like instantaneously. And he actually took his days off and added like 2 more shows because he was like, well, if this little town wants to see me, I'm going to do extra shows.
It was a great show.
And so I got to go, and that was back when he was like wearing all the different colored shirts and like flying out over the crowd and stuff. And he's still my entertainer of the year every year. He's just the greatest live performer. And that show really just, he can go in a stadium, he can go in an arena and make you feel like he's talking and singing just to you in his living room. Like he has this unbelievable ability to do that. And I saw him at Bridgestone a couple of years ago, and it was the same thing. It was truly amazing. And Trisha was there too. So yeah, my first one, I think that would have been when Garth came to Monroe, Louisiana.
Yeah, I remember that.
Wow. We've had some really amazing names from these interviews. So that's really cool. I love it.
Yes. So obviously you knew Sarah was doing Sarah Jane was doing the acting and stuff, and in New York, obviously, because you were there. When did you know that she wanted to go into music?
She has always been into music. She was in children's theater. She was in plays, Once Upon a Mattress. Since she was in 3rd grade, she has always been in music.
Those are musicals, though. She's asking about like songwriting.
Well, songwriting,
But I always did poetry.
Yeah.
And so it was just kind of a matter of time before it all came together, I think.
Yeah, kind of put it together into songs.
Yeah.
But here I think this breakup here in Nashville kind of triggered,
Well, I had some time on my hands, I suddenly was co-parenting, and I had my kids half the time, and I didn't really know who I was without being a mom full time. And I was really left like with an identity crisis, and music kind of swooped in and was there for me, and the music community in Nashville. And my mom sort of saw that happening, where it was like, oh yeah, I'm going to this class, and I'm going to a writer's round, and I have a co-write, and I started to have this community. And what an amazing community it is.
It's amazing.
Nashville songwriting community is the best in the world. I really believe that, and I've heard it said by a lot of people. It's just it's unbelievable. So that's when it really took a front seat. And then Mom started hearing the songs I was writing. And of course, as you can tell, Mom is my cheerleader.
I mean,
if I'm looking for criticism, I don't play the song for Mom. Like, I'm going to get support and unconditional love and support from her. And just that's a great feeling. But she's very intelligent. You know, she was an agent. She knows what she's talking about, like when it comes to talking about storytelling. And so she really does have good recommendations. I mean, there's some songs that she'll throw out a, hey, what about this? And I really should give her like writing credit on.
That's true.
Occasionally.
Be on the album.
Yeah.
But you know, Sarah Jane encouraged me. I've always been a poet. I've written poetry my whole life. And she encouraged me to go to the Nashville Public Library and do a contest. They were having a sonnet writing contest. And I don't know if you're familiar with sonnets, but they have a certain rhyme scheme. Everything has the same amount of syllables. And
she won.
I won the whole thing. And I had never ever even been there.
So Mom needs to be writing songs too. And
I could write songs too.
We got to get her. She's like poetry, songwriting. They work together well.
Can be done. Perfect. So how did you feel when your daughter told you she wanted a career in music, knowing how vulnerable that whole scene is?
I felt wonderful because I knew that if anybody in the world could make this happen, it would be Sarah Jane Nelson.
Oh, Mom.
I mean it. I mean, it has just escalated, you know, through this whole journey. And it's just a matter of time. I mean, these songs that she has written, they actually speak to people. I mean, people from all over the world call her. Some man from Ireland called and said, because she wrote a song called Every Other Weekend. And he said, in all my life, I never dreamed that I would only see my children every other weekend.
But these people don't call me, Mom.
They're
emailing me.
They're emailing.
I don't want to sound like I got like a 1-800 number.
Of course, I'm in the phone call world. I'm not in the email world. But nevertheless, I mean, it really speaks to people, and I love that. And I know it's going to be huge.
Maybe your mom has a point. We should get you a 1-800 number. That way people can call you.
Yeah.
I would give it out.
Call 1-900 Nashville Songwriter. Let's talk about music. $4.95 a minute.
Yeah. But they used to have the numbers.
So what is your favorite song of your daughter's that she has written?
My favorite song is Hands Down.
Oh, you got a hands down?
I have a hands down one.
I'm excited to hear.
And it's one of her new ones, but it is so me.
I know which one.
Boat on the Shore.
Yep, I knew it.
And it's about someone who is always frightened to go out to, you know, the boat is still on the shore and they try to do their life and do everything, but there's still a boat on the shore. And at the end of the song, she leaves the shore and goes.
It's about not fulfilling your highest purpose. So feeling like there's something that you're meant to do that you're not fully realizing yet. And I feel that way at different times. So it's nothing negative, actually. I feel like in a way,
Boat on the Shore.
I've felt that way as I've written this current record, is that like I'm about ready to set sail with it. And you guys are catching me right at the beginning of the release of the singles and everything. But, you know, that song I think might have an impact on people because a lot of them can relate to being afraid to take that step into what is probably their greatest achievements and purpose in life. Because it's sometimes it just feels better to just stay in your house. And, you know, there's a lyric in it that says, another cup of coffee wakes her up from last night's wine. As she tells the folks on Instagram, she's doing fine.
That's how it is.
Searching, scrolling through the pictures of the places she could sail, but she never sails anywhere. So that's like a verse. But I think, it's just like,
That's how it is.
I mean, with COVID, we've all been boats on the shore in many ways, and we're all ready to just get out there and do what we're made to do. But I'm happy you guys are able to do this from your computers. So you guys are doing your thing from home.
And I will say this, when I moved to New York City and Sarah Jane encouraged me, and I got there and she sat me down that first night in the apartment. I was like I was in Mars. And she said, Mother, I want you to repeat after me. And I thought, what is she going to say? This is that you've spent your whole life making sure everybody else is blissfully happy. You don't even know what your favorite color is. And then she looked at me and she said, say this. No. That was it. And that's not in my vocabulary. No. But I learned to say no in New York City. Trust me. I was not.
Mom
the same
got a lot of
person.
street smarts living there.
Act like you know where you're going, whether you do or not.
That's a good lesson in life.
That is. Okay. What song or album should we listen to before we die?
Well, Live Like You Were Dying wouldn't be a bad option if you're talking about before you die. I love that song.
I love that song.
I'll never forget the first time I heard that song on the radio in my car. I mean, I just started bawling.
Tanya Tucker is amazing.
Yeah, that's not a Tanya Tucker song.
Oh, what's the one? Send me flowers.
Oh, Bring My Flowers Now. Do you know
Yes.
that Tanya Tucker song?
Yes.
Oh, I
That's
love
one
that
too.
song.
No, Tim McGraw is Live Like
Tim
You Were
McGraw's
Dying.
Love Like You Were Dying. That's right. Live Like You Were Dying.
Yeah, we love the Tanya Tucker record that Brady Carlisle produced. We love Tanya. So big fan.
Perfect.
We are too, for sure.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Cool.
I'd like to first start by saying thank you both very much for being here. It's been my honor to have both of you here on today and just get to know both of you better.
I'd love to meet you in person.
Yeah, you'll have to come to Nashville.
Absolutely.
We'll all go honky tonkin'.
Mom's a good two-stepper,
Oh, yeah.
and I love to dance. We'll go out to the American Legion in East Nashville and do some
that's so
two-stepping.
fun.
It's really fun. But I hope that you guys will check out my new video. I'm super excited about Mama Loves You.
Oh,
And
Makes me
it's
cry.
really a song. It's not a song to my mom. It's a song from mother to child.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit of a different perspective. But I feel like, my children have taught me so much and they've brought so much joy into my life. And even the challenges that I've had, like I've just grown and grown and grown. And so I wanted to write this song to them. And so it's like a lullaby and it has a beautiful string section. And, and then when I did the video, I created a selection of photos from their entire life from
so
birth
sweet.
till now. And so I'm really excited this Mother's Day to honor my kids. And I just, I don't know if they'll ever realize how much I truly love them because it's a love that it's really hard to, it's hard to put into words. But I also hope that the song Mama Loves You is a song that other moms can share with their kids and that they can express that as well. Because on Mother's Day, we want to honor our moms, but I think it's really neat to also honor the children who have made us moms. So that's what it's all about.
That's a great way of putting it. I love that. That is amazing. So yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I still say you to our sisters. You can buy that one.
This lady, you guys will love her. You got to come to Nashville and meet her. Everybody loves Nanny.
I'm getting ready to have my 72nd birthday.
Yeah, she's 71.
Never.
Happy birthday early.
She's 71. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Never. You're
Yeah.
fibbing.
I wish.
So I'm serious. I hope this interview, I hope I will be contacted by some eligible bachelors. This
Stop
is
it,
what I'm
Sarah
doing.
Jane.
This is what this is
Stop
really
it.
about.
You guys will get a timeout. I'm not kidding you. I'm giving timeouts for people.
She's like the Bachelorette in my world. It's like with Mom, I get to have the real life Bachelorette. I have a boyfriend and he's wonderful, and I'm not out in the dating world, but this is my Bachelorette that I get to guide along the way.
Oh, that is so sweet.
That is so sweet.
I think we should have a live edition of Bachelorette in Nashville here.
Yeah, we could do, couldn't we?
That's what she is. We all can. You guys should do a blog and just chronicle.
Stop it.
Yes, we can do that. We can do that together, all of us. Yeah.
There's a whole new string to our bow. Crazy Women Country dating site. There you go.
Yes, yes. And the one thing she probably wouldn't like is if we talked about the fantasy suite. So we'd have to skip that part.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
Do you watch The Bachelor?
You don't.
I don't know.
I've heard about it, but not really. No.
I'm not going to any fantasy suite. You can bank on that.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, it was so fun to hang out with you guys again.
It's been a blast.
Again.
It's always a blast.
For joining us.
Thank you so much.
If you enjoyed today's episode of Crazy Women Country, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Be sure to click the subscribe button for new interviews weekly. And thank you, friends, for joining us today on Crazy Women Country, where women's voices matter.